This is Hardrocker Highlights from the Hardrocker men's basketball locker room here in Goodell Gymnasium on the School of Mines campus. Jason Henry is our guest, our head coach of the Hardrockers, and Jason's 7-6 on the season. And as you are coming off a really good win over Peru State, kind of got you back on the right track.
Yeah, it did. You know, you need those games, get some guys in that haven't played a lot, and you know, get the starters flowing a little bit here again too, and playing well together. And you know, sure enough, it comes with a win, but you know, like we talked about at this time of the season, is you know, just a chance to go play against somebody else and get better, and you know, that's what we're looking for. And hopefully, it ends up with a result of a win, and which it did on you know, for this past weekend. But you know, we're looking forward to this week again, and you know, basically 2 more weeks before the long break, and then when you come back from the break, you just never know how the guys are going to, you know, react to this and that and the layoff and those kind of things. But we're looking forward to this week, and coming off a big win was exciting for us.
Certainly a fine performance by Kyle Dewar over the last 2 games, especially in the game against Black Hill State, and it was good to see Kyle play at the top of his game.
Yeah, and he did that last year for us. It came conference time, and he really played well. He stepped up his game, and you know, we need him to do that. If we're going to be successful this year, is you know, whether we want it that way or not, that's just kind of how this team is. And we have some pretty good posts with Mike Dietz and Caleb Schockman, and you know, even Jordan Schmitz and Caleb Raymer. You know, those guys that can get in there and been in our program for a while, and we're excited about those guys. And but we need Kyle to have, you know, good games along the way here now, and just play hard. You know, when he plays hard, he's a skilled guy that we have, and a skilled guys that's in our league. And when he plays hard and gets those rebounds, you know, he's only averaging 3 rebounds going into that game, and you know, he's at 7 and 8 the last couple games. So if that continues, obviously his points will continue too, but he brings a lot to what we have to offer.
Who's pleased you through the first 13 games? Who are you pleased with and have played consistently for you?
Well, you know, Nate Jacobson at the point is obviously a big one, but even his backup is Lucas Nolan. You know, I look back at Nate a couple years ago, and Lucas is doing as good, if not better job than Nate was a couple years ago. So we're excited about having those 2 guys in the program right now, and I think a lot to do with Luke's success is Nate. You know, and they get to compete every day against each other, and to have a caliber of guy like Nate Jacobson helping a freshman at the point guard spot. I mean, that's not easy to do, and I think those 2 have done a really good job. You know, Luke obviously has a lot farther to go than Nate, because Nate's been around the block. And then, you know, Michael Dietz is another guy that's new to our program, but yet he's been pretty consistent. You know, he's had a couple games where maybe he hasn't shot as well as he'd like to, and need to get him knocked down some free throws. That's his big thing right now. But you know, he's been pretty consistent, especially being a transfer, you know, freshman, to come in and give us those kind of minutes is we're excited about. But yeah, I mean, there's, you know, Scotty Mays and guys that have been in our program. You know, just defensive effort and just overall hustle has carried over to the new guys as well.
Speaking of Michael Dietz, and when we were struggling to score points early in the season, of course, Michael was scoring, and it seems like some teams kind of caught on to that a little bit, and the further we go into the season, he doesn't surprise anybody anymore. They kind of prepare for him, it looks like.
Oh, no question, especially when you get into conference. I mean, we have, I believe, some of the best coaches around in our conference, and you know, big part of that is just the scouts and the preparation that they have for their teams. And everybody's got pretty good players, but once you get into that conference, there's not a lot of secrets, you know, especially when you go to Black Hills. I mean, we know everything and anything about them, and vice versa. So they challenged us with some things. They made us play to you know, some of our weaknesses, and we allowed that to happen. And we just got to make sure now we know what to fix, and hopefully we can get some of that stuff fixed.
Coming up here with the NAIA schedule to close out before Christmas, you're on the road to Rocky Mountain, and then the following week to Sioux Falls, a couple of pretty good NAIA teams. What, outside of winning the games, obviously, Jason, what do you hope to really accomplish here right before Christmas?
Well, we've actually been playing well on the road, which I'm excited about. And the problem is, you go to you know, a couple years ago national champion to you know, starting out preseason top 10 team. You know, it's may as well throw the best at us to get us ready for that conference, and it is. It's still to the point where, yeah, we wish we could have been 1-0 in the conference. Now we still have 2 more good opportunities to get better, and the offensive part of it is where we need to get better, and we're just not there yet. I mean, we have signs, there's no doubt about it, where we'll have stretches where we're pretty good and do the things that we need to do, and the guys are in pretty good flow. And then stretches looks like the second week of practice. So we need to continue to work on the offensive end and keep plugging away with it. And if guys like Tanner Friesen and even Nate and some of those guys we're expecting to knock down outside shots, things go a lot better, there's no doubt about it. But even when that happens, our offense still hasn't been great and fluent. So we'll keep working on that. And like I said, going up to Billings, that's a hard place to play. Over in Sioux Falls is next to impossible. And we're excited about the challenge, and our guys will be ready for it.
Jason Henry, head coach of the Hardrockers, as they get set for their final games before the Christmas break. We're in the Hardrocker locker room here at Goodell Gym in the King Center on the School of Mines campus. For Jason Henry, this is Tom Rudabush. This is Hardrocker Highlights.